Okay, guys. Last episode we had queued up some basic research and got that out of the way. We've got all of the production of our kind of our basic materials done. We started producing some sand. We started producing some copper and some iron, and that's where we left it. I said I was going to do some rearranging and cleaning up, and let's take a look and see. So I put out all of the wind turbines. That's all of them that were supplied with in our initial handful. And I went and, as I said, I bumped up my production for my iron and my sand and what have you. Um, Now, problem is, if you look, we're not doing much right now. These things take a buttload of energy. They take what is it, 310 kilowatts per, and I've got what, 8 of them here. So if we look, our power is sucking, even with all of the wind turbines that we were given initially. Um, Life sucks. The other thing is, we have used up all of our initial allocation of sand. So, if that was all we were making, we couldn't grow any bigger. So, I've set it up. You know, half of what is coming out of here is producing sand, half of it is producing our iron and copper. Um, so that's where we kind of stand right now. So, like I said, Seablock is kind of a game of improvement, 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 production improvement. We're just trying to grow our production um, through modernization, if you will. So the first thing we're going to do is I, I I saved up a bunch of sand. We're gonna use that sand. So we're gonna turn around, and I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to change this around. Excuse me. We're going to turn this off. This portion of it. We're going to stop making sand over here. We've made enough sand that we now can build. What we need to do now is we need to put all of that production towards making iron and copper. Okay. So now the question is, how do we, if we're eliminating our sand production here, how are we going to make land? How are we going to expand? Well, that's what we're going to cover today. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take care of this power situation. Okay, so I'm going to take some of this sand that I've saved up, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to close this in. Give ourselves some space to work. I'm going to close this in. Okay. We're probably gonna build this out further, what have you, but for right now, this will work. So we got this green algae that we're making, and we got the brown algae that we're making. And from green algae, and we're just about out of storage space, so this works out well. From the green algae, we can make cellulose fiber, the cellulose fiber that we've been picking up out of the sea. Now, from cellulose fiber, we can make wood pellets, and then from wood pellets, we can make bricks. From bricks, we can ultimately make charcoal. We're going to go as far as the wood bricks today. We're going to set that up to fuel our power plant, and we're going to build an actual power plant. I already built the steam engines and I built the boilers just to save us a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and run this all the way up. What the heck? I have a little anal retentiveness when it comes to squares and things like that. It's weird. When I get gas, it has to end in either a 5 or a 10, or a 5 or a 0 kind of thing. A lot of things like 5s and 0s is big for me. I don't know why. All right, so now next what we're going to do is we got all this green algae that's in here. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that chest. One of the things we did over here, and we did it here as well, like I said before, we're a long ways away from filter inserters, so I had to set up filtering using splitters. But here, our excess stone is going back into our system to be recycled. We're not getting a lot, but we're getting some. And some is better than none, right? All right, so let us bring our green algae up to where we can start turning it into something useful, right? So the first thing we want is we're going to turn our green algae into cellulose fiber, right? Then we're going to take that cellulose fiber, oops, give ourselves some space. I'm going to take that cellulose fiber and turn it into wood pellets. And then we're going to take that wood pellets and we're going to turn it into wooden bricks. Okay, so that's our production right there. One to the next to the next. But we need 10 to do it, right? So let us get as much coming into that as we can. Right there. All right. Now, what we probably should do is just get rid of this inserter here too. There we go. That's better. That makes me more happy. I know people were probably down there screaming, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" Okay. So now we're going to come out with our wood bricks. And that's going to give us our fuel that we badly need. So we're going to double that up. Because this is a slow process. It's not a fast process. But this is going to definitely help our power immensely. Hit click. Just a copy. Alright. And then, let's see, where can we run to get our most bang for our buck on poles? Here. Here. Looks like we're going to have to use 2. Alright. Alright, there we go. So that's going to start loading that up. That's going to come over and that's going to feed us and give us our energy. Now we need electricity. And like I say, I made steam engines. So, let us... Where are we going to stick these? Well, we want to be able to make science. We're probably gonna stick our science in here. I'm trying to keep as dense as I possibly can because, again, we don't have a lot of sand, what have you. So, give us a little bit of room to snake in there. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And then that's going to give us that. And then that's going to give us that. Does that give us room to put one more in here and give us, yes, it does. Okay, so then we want a burner inserter. And then we want a pole. So that's going to give us that. Right, now we need water. So we need pump. And pump here. Because actually, now that we know where we got room at, we're going to move that down one. That gives us enough room to put another one of those in before having to take down any of our windmills. Put a pipe between them just because I always do. Makes it easier for situating poles. So there we go. So now we have power. Let's get rid of this lab, and we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now we don't have power yet because we haven't hooked up water yet, but that's our next project. We'll just run a pipe down there. And that'll give us the water we need. Get rid of that one if we can. Alright, that's okay. Alright, so that's going to give us both sides of that. Now we just need to come down here with pipes, which we need to make some pipes. 5, 10. Ought to be plenty. One here, one here. Underground between them. Now, normally I would go undergrounds and be able to get through, but pipes are cheaper. On the other hand, we're making stone now. I think we can afford it. You'll notice these stone pipes go a lot farther, or go pretty far. You would expect that they would go less far because of the fact that they're, you know, stone. They're not as an efficient pipe as the metal pipes. I would think it would be kind of like the underground inserters or underground belts, but they're not. But that's okay. So let's see what that's done for us, power-wise. There we go. So now we're okay, but we're not great. So what we're going to have to do is this production is going to have to be built out and increased so we get more that we're making. But this will give us a start. Like I say, we'll do the expansion off camera. Right now we're just looking at doing the basics to show you guys what I'm doing, and then I will expand that later. And that leaves us plenty of room down here to put in our research. We got to bring our copper over, we got to make science, and then we got to turn it into research. Now, problem is, like I say, we're still not making sand yet. Oh, and you know what? While we're doing this, let's do this. Let's be smart about this. No, we're not going to do that because we don't want to get tied up in not being able to create what we need to create. So now let's go over here. Now that we've got this dedicated to nothing but making iron and copper, we need a way to make land. So what we're going to do is we're going to build this out some so that we have some working room. I don't know if that's going to be enough, too much, we'll see. I don't think it's going to be enough. In fact, I'm pretty certain it's not going to be enough. But we'll be okay, because as soon as we start getting this sand production going, we can go for days. So now, if we're using this to make this, how do we make sand? Well, one of our latest researches, right, was this puppy right here. This landfill, this processing of mud water and extracting of sediments. And if we look at that, you get all of these different levels of water. It basically is taking mud and it's taking some of the dirt out, some more of the dirt out, on down the line until we get this pure saline water, which is basically just seawater without the mud in it. And then we can take that mud and we can turn it into different things. And that's where we're going to get our landfill from. So if we're going from viscous mud, right, which is what we're going to get out of the seafloor pump. So we got to change 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times we've got to filter that water. We've got to wash it. All right. So if we go here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. We're also going to need a seafloor pump. And then we're going to need to do something with that water once we're done. So we're going to make a clarifier. Basically, a clarifier is just a black hole. You just dump the excess into it, and it goes away, just like the refining stacks do. And I do believe we're also going to need, speaking of flare stacks, I believe we're going to need one more flare stack. Because I think one piece of this process makes some kind of gas that we got to get rid of. Probably, anyway. It would make sense. And eventually we'll be able to use that gas, whatever it is, and loop it back into our process somewhere. But for now, that's where it's going to go. So let's start making ourselves some sand. And as soon as these pipes are finished building and this stuff is finished building, we will do that. And let's tell it start making some more pipes, because we know we're going to need those, but we can start laying stuff down now. Okay, so the end of the process is going to be this clarifier. We're going to get rid of whatever is left over. The beginning of the process is our seafloor pump, and you'll notice, unlike the other pumps, it gives you 2 squares. You can put it, you know, 1 square out, 2 squares out. It'll fit either way. I don't know if it changes the efficiency or not, but you can do that. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to start with the clarifier. All right, so there's our clarifier. It only has 1 input. And then we're going to do 1, 2, 3 pipes. The reason I'm doing 3 pipes is it's going to give me enough room between each of these that I can hook a pipe in if I need to and run stuff out, because I know these things are going to make these different types of waters, right? And eventually we'll be able to use those. 1, 2, 3. So we might as well set ourselves up for success, right? So there's 1, 2, 3. That's number 3. Number 4. And you see we're kind of getting down with the sand here. We're just about to the point where it's going to stop being as much of a problem as it was. There is number 4. All right. Now we need to bring our mud into that. So again, 1, 2, 3, and our pump. All right. So now the pump is going to suck in, and that's going to give us our basically, it's going to give us mud, or viscous mud water, right? And we're going to take viscous mud water and water, and that's going to give us mud. Mud. It's going to give us, you know, the next level, heavy mud water, but it's also going to give us hydrogen sulfide gas. That's what I knew at some point we would end up with. So we're going to go ahead and put a flare stack here. So there it is, to get rid of the sulfide gas, because we don't need it right now. Eventually I think we do, but for right now we don't. Now, the next problem we have is we need water. So let's come down here. And I think we got enough to fill this in. So let's go ahead and fill this in because, like I say, tend to be a little anal retentive, and now we're going to be making the dirt, so it's not going to matter. Okay? One thing I'm going to do, just for ease of getting around, like I said, I put 3 on each of these so that I can add a pipe. We're going to, for now, we're going to make that longer, or shorter, so that we can get past here. Alright, so now we need water to come down to each of these, right? So let us make 5, 10, 15, 20. And again, like I say, we could do undergrounds, but undergrounds use more stone than just running a regular pipe, right? So we're just going to do it that way. So then we're going to go water into that one, water into that one, water into that one. Now, the reason I'm doing them here, after just saying, oh, well, is because I want to run a belt down here. Okay, so we're going to need a belt. Now, here's the problem. We run out of bricks. So we need some more stone, and we need to make more bricks. So let's go ahead and run up here real quick. And we're going to steal some of this crushed stone to make bricks, right? Because we need bricks to make pipe. In the meantime, while that is building up enough, let us go down here and finish wiring this all up and what have you. So, next we're going to need electricity to each of these. See if that'll reach. I knew that at some point it wasn't going to. Alright, there we go. So now each of them has it. Now, like I say, we're going to run a belt down here into each of these. Because now each of these, in turn, is going to produce mud, right? Mud. Yep. So now we just go through and we set each of these productions. So the first one is, you know, the least, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4, and then finally 5, right? And each time that it comes through here, it's going to take a little bit more mud out. And eventually, we're going to end up with a crap ton of mud. And that mud once we get enough of it, and again, our power is still kind of iffy. So now we've got the mud. We can use that mud to make sand and dirt and what have you. So now we're back to making our sand, right? And that whole process is going to start giving us more land that we needed. So let us go here and throw that in, grab that out, make a bunch more stone, and then we're going to need, we don't have a furnace, we need a furnace. We'll make a furnace, which is going to suck up a bunch of our stone. Come on. There we go. Now we can take our furnace, set our furnace down, put our stone in it, and we're going to use our wood bricks, and we're going to make we're going to make bricks. And we're going to use our bricks to finish up making our pipe. And we need how many? We need 1, 2. So one more. So 15 for that, huh? Alright, well. Should be close. It's 10. 13. Alright, there we go. Now we got enough. We can hook all our pipes up and get this whole thing running. Right? So each one of these now is going to give us a bit of mud. Not each individual one's not going to give us a ton, but all of them combined together eventually is going to definitely give us more than what we need. So, and then finally it's going to give us saline water. The saline water will come out, and this will basically just get rid of it, and it just processes it into a black hole, right? So now let us start making our landfill. And sand. Right? So now we're going to start making sand. And this is actually going to make sand a lot faster than this process over here was. Not to mention the fact that now we can use all of this to concentrate on making copper and iron. So we're going to expand this, we're going to reorganize it. We're going to expand this and reorganize it a bit because of fuel production, but both of those are going good now. So now we need to look at research, right? Because we've kind of stopped research. So let us put in how are we going to fit this in here? Let's see. We put one there. How about if we put it there? All right. Wait. Yeah, no, that's fine. Actually, we can put them closer. My bad. We can actually put them one right after the other, right like that. All right, so then we're going to go here and here. We're going to bring our iron up to 1 and our copper up to the other. And then we're going to tell this one to make our electromagnetic cores. We're going to tell this one to make our electromagnetic coils. And then I think from there we only need 1, don't we? Yeah, now we only need 1. I don't know why I was thinking 2. Because then that will give us our red science. And then that. will give us our science into our science lab. And there it is. Now we're in the science business. Alright? So now we're going to start producing science. We're going to start producing landfill for our, you know, to fill in our soil. We're going to increase this so we have a lot more fuel coming in. Now the downside of this, we're still getting this brown algae. But that's okay, because next episode we're going to start using the brown algae to make circuit cards and things like that. In addition to that, we're going to research green algae. Now, green algae actually takes carbon dioxide as well, and we don't have that right now, and it takes mineralized water, which we don't have right now, but we'll work on both of those. I mean, we have it because we have it for this process, but it is more efficient because it gives us nothing but green algae. So we're going to research that. We're going to, believe it or not, I said, you know, we don't have to worry about biters, blah, blah, blah. That's true, but I kind of want the radars. So we're going to research the military just so we can get the radars. We're going to get lights so that we can have lights. And then let's do, the rest of this is all defensive. We don't really need it. Let's get basic chemistry. And that's where we're going to start. All right. So that'll be next episode. We should have those researched. And all of this is going to be kind of redone to be more efficient. And then we will have our production for this stuff up and running considerably better. We'll probably add some more factories to make some more fuel, because yeah, we're hurting on power. But we knew that going into it, and that's the way it is. All right, so there you go, guys. We are now started. This is the next things we're going to expand. We're going to expand our algae production. We're going to expand our power plant, and we're going to expand our making of sand, so that we can now grow without having to worry about, you know, how big we're going to grow. And look, we've already got 40. So this will just keep running. If we add to this, we'll probably put in another row of these, and then that will that'll let us to you know, not have to worry about our space as much as what we're having to worry about right now. That's our big dilemma right now, is space, because we can't really build. We're only got, what, I had 1,300 sand. We're down to 240 just to do that little bit. So there we go, guys. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take care.